Hey, it's John Foss, and I'm talking with Bruce Campbell about
Hello,
his new
John.
show, Ripley's Believe It or Not, which is on the Travel Channel Sundays at 8 p.m. here in the Twin Cities. Bruce, tell us all about the show.
They're going to see what Ripley's does best. The impressive, the unique, what's our word? Extraordinary is what we're doing. So they've done other shows, and we're kind of catching up with everything that's happened since the last show. There's a lot to cover.
What would you say is the craziest thing that you've seen so far?
I ain't going to tell you.
So we're going to have to watch it
Because
ourselves.
I don't want to give it away, and I wouldn't pick one story out of 60 that's more amazing than the others. You'll see the footage. It's nothing that you and I could do. If we did this stuff for our entire lives, we couldn't do what these people do. So they're picking innate talents and enhancing those. They're taking horrible tragedy in their lives and making something positive out of it. It's a lot of cool stories. We're telling stories. It's not so much newsreel style. We're more docu style.
How did you get involved with the show?
Honestly, I often never know how the origins of work happens. My agent gets a call. He sends it to me. I check it out. Ripley's has been around for 100 years. They're a major brand. I used to read the old Ripley books when I was a kid. I knew them very well, and I knew that other people would know it too. I've watched Travel Channel for decades, so it seemed like a good fit, and my fans tend to like edgier stuff, and that's what this show is. It's a little edgy. It's not a cakewalk of a show.
Okay, and Ash versus Evil Dead just wrapped up, and it kind of left us with a little bit of a cliffhanger.
Nah.
Is there any chance we'll see Evil Dead 4 to wrap things up?
No, it was not a cliffhanger. It was a very, we did that for the fans. We were concerned we were going to be canceled. We kind of smelled it. So we're like, let's end this in a way that will be acceptable. It's Ash, fulfills his prophecy, goes on to live another day, and boy, yeah, that'd be fun to follow those adventures. Mad Max in the future, Evil Dead, yeah, cool. But, I'm 60, time to hang up the chainsaw.
So we've officially seen the last of Ash?
I'm doing the Ash video game, the fully immersive game that's coming out probably 6 months or so. So I'll always do the voice to him. I just don't want to do the physical stuff anymore. And we're going to make more Evil Dead movies because we like the story of average people going through, ridiculous things.
Ash has been such a big part of your career. Was there ever a point in time where you just felt like, guys, Ash has been great. I appreciate that you guys love Ash and Evil Dead, but I want to do something different. I want to focus on something else and just totally get away from that character?
Well, the funny thing is that we did one movie in the 70s, we did one movie in the 80s, we did one movie in the 90s, we took 15 years off, then we did it for 3 years. So it's made more of a long-term indelible impression on people more than it's done on me. I've suited up enough to know that I'm good. I've had enough of Ash, and I'm really grateful we brought him back to a point where I could kind of mold that character again into more of a 3D character. So, it's all good. It's all good.
Absolutely. And I think now that Ash vs. Evil Dead is on Netflix, I think that, like Evil Dead, the audience is just going to continue to grow. It has a 99% score on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Everybody who's seen it loves it. So, like I said, I just think it's going to continue to grow over time.
I hope so, because, when it was on Stars, nobody found it. They didn't know how to get Stars. Believe it or not, when it got to Netflix, people were asking me, wow, I didn't know Netflix had a new show. And I'm like, oh. So you can't fight City Hall, but I'm glad it's on Netflix now.
Throughout your career, is there one role that sticks out as your favorite?
Well, we all like playing cowboys, so I checked that box. A lot of people sing like Elvis in the shower, I played Elvis. I played Ronald Reagan. I don't know, I've checked a few boxes. I'll have to see what's left. Maybe dinner theater somewhere in Branson.
Okay. Well, it sounds like when you and Sam Raimi started making films early on in your career, it wasn't necessarily that you guys loved the horror genre. It was more that you just thought that was a good way to get a first film off the ground. Do you think if it wasn't for the early success of the Evil Dead films that your career would have taken a different turn as far as the way people would have cast you? And what do you think that would have looked like?
Well, the funny thing is, interesting question, I'm more stereotyped by the fans than I am within my own industry. Because within my own industry, I've played thieves and cowboys and heroes and scoundrels, and I've been in a French film. I've played homicide, life in the streets. I've done serious, I've done funny. So I get cast in a bunch of different stuff. But what I found is that people only watch what they watch. So if you only watch horror, you're going to know me as Ash. You're not going to know me as Briscoe or Elvis or Autolycus from Hercules and Xena. You're just not going to know it because that's not what you're looking for. So I've found to let that go. If people know me as Ash, then that's cool. It's totally cool. Some people only know me as Sam Axe from Burn Notice.
Is there any type of role on your bucket list that you would like to do that's totally different from anything that you've done in the past?
No, the trick is to just take a role and make it as good as you can. And after you've done a certain amount of roles, you say no to a lot of roles now because they don't match up. Over time, they gotta keep matching up to where you had the good parts. So just don't say yes to everything. That's the trick.
Okay, well, Bruce Campbell, I've been a fan since I first saw Evil Dead way back in the day. I appreciate everything that you do. And Twin Cities, make sure you watch Ripley's Believe It or Not, Sundays, 8 p.m. on the Travel Channel. Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you very much.